All right, today we are demoing a guitar by Stephen Faulk. Stephen's a luthier here in the Bay Area, and he's built this fantastic guitar, I must say. It's a 7-string guitar, so it's really built for to play Brazilian music, and I really don't have any experience playing 7-string guitars. I played the 7-string guitar for the first time last month for about 5 minutes, and Stephen gave me this guitar for a couple of days for me to check out, and I have some interesting observations. First of all, I really don't think I could get used to or really want to get used to the idea of a 7-string guitar in flamenco. But in the video I did exploit or use the 7th string a little bit, and I do love the depth of sound that you can get. I think it gets a little bit too low for what we're doing in general in flamenco, and there would be all kinds of issues to deal with, like having a special capo that's wide enough for such a wide neck. So aside from that, I'd want to talk about how this guitar performs aside from the 7th string, because incidentally I have ordered a guitar from Stephen because I'm very impressed with this instrument, and I'm hoping he can build me a 6-string that does many of the same wonderful things that this guitar does. The first thing that I noticed when I played this guitar for the first time over at Stephen's shop was that the bass notes are really, really potent. They have a character that I really haven't heard on very many, if any, guitars. It's almost as if there's another octave below already, and that's with even with damping the 7th string. I don't know if that has to do with the black acacia wood that the back and sides are made out of. I don't know if it's the port. I have ports on 2 other guitars, so I'm not exactly sure if it's something that Stephen did. I imagine it has something to do with all things working together, which is usually the case, but there's a character in these basses that's very much like a piano. They're bright, but they're full, and they have an attack that is real potent and has plenty of low end, but it sort of gets out of the way quick too. Sometimes rosewood in the basses can sustain and have a lot of build-up that clouds up the sound if you're playing music that's busy like flamenco can be. But this guitar doesn't do that. It has that nice punch, but after the initial attack, that low-end information just sort of backs off, and I think that's really nice. I have really become sort of addicted to that sound over the last couple of days. It did make me think for a minute or two, maybe I want a 7-string guitar. But playing around with it and muting the 7th string kind of solved the issue for me. It's not the added string that's doing it. If you leave it open, it is going to add some harmonic coloring, which is very nice. But it's not what's attributing to the wonderful bass on here. I don't know what is. And I told Stephen that, and he knows what it is. He's done something inside this guitar that's special or whatever. It's I guess it's a testament to his skills as a luthier. So right off the bat, that's the big thing about this guitar. Incredible basses, like I've really never heard before. Huge. This guitar is incredibly loud. It would probably be incredibly loud without the port, but with the port, the impression from the point of view from the player is just It's incredibly loud and potent and fun to play because of that. It's a fairly easy guitar to play. I would have liked to capo up to play the Soleil excerpt that I played. I'm usually playing that with a capo on too, so it was a little bit of a stretch for me to play that open, but there really wasn't any way around it because my capos are no way they're going to accommodate such a wide neck. Let's get on to the trebles. The trebles on a spruce top guitar are going to take time to come in, but these are plenty potent right off the bat, so it kind of lets you know that in about a year they're just going to be screaming. That sixth string really gets me, the seventh string, excuse me. That seventh string gets me really confused about where I am on the guitar. I don't know if any of you that aren't familiar with playing on a seventh string have had the same situation when you pick one up, but man, it really gets me lost about where I am on the guitar, so I really have to think hard. But the trebles, I think, are wonderful. I think the balance of the guitar is perfect. The intonation seems to be wonderful. And another really interesting thing that I thought at first might have to do with the seventh string is this almost built-in reverberation that this guitar has. I think you can hear it a bit in the Soleil excerpt that I put on before this. But this guitar is just resonating in a really really wonderful way. It makes it really fun to play, and you just keep kind of playing it. At first when I picked it up, of course, I kind of staggered by the inability to play with this seventh string, but there was something about the character of this guitar that made me keep playing it and keep playing it. And I honestly couldn't put it down for a couple of hours the first night, even though my nails were shot, and it was just playing chords and simple melodies on the guitar and listening to the nuances of the instrument. And I'm really very impressed with the instrument, and that's what's drawn me to make this video, and what has drawn me to order a 6-string version of this instrument with the black acacia wood. I'm not super fond of the headstock with the zebra wood, but that's another thing. I think it's probably great for a Brazilian guitarist, though. But there is some other things to note on the guitar. I think I really kind of like this rosette that Stephen's put in this guitar. I'll see if we can get a little bit of a view of that in here. I think it's, yeah, there's a little glare there, but that's kind of a striking rosette that Stephen, of course, made himself. I like that rosette a lot. I'm going to have that actually on mine. I'm going to ask him to do that. And then there's some fancy stuff going on back here. Stephen's quite a craftsman, but this little thing right here is pretty fancy. I like that. There's a piece of sap, a little bit of sap in the cap there on the heel, and then this little thing going in there. I think that's kind of a very cool way of joining those things together. I think the black acacia wood is very beautiful, and the French polish on this guitar is immaculate. I think this guitar right now has some Goto tuners on it. I think it'd do much better with some Irving Sloan tuners, or I believe what eventually is going to end up on this guitar are some Gilbert tuners. And I think that the Gilberts with the black for this particular guitar would look great. My guitar, I'm going to have planetary pegs put on it, but I just wanted to give Stephen Faulk the thumbs up on this guitar. It's amazing. I don't really want to give it back, but I know it needs to get to its rightful owner. So congratulations, Stephen. And to the player who ends up with this guitar, you got a fabulous guitar. I'm not gonna say who it's going to yet. I'll leave that up to the player to make himself known. But really, great job, Stephen. I look forward to my guitar that you're going to be building very soon. And yeah, thanks for letting me demo it. Take it easy.